summer's not fun, but I got to take some classes. In one of my classes, I have to do certain things each week. And this week, I had to write a story, and now I have to read it to y'all, okay? So I'm going to read you all my story. It's about a boy named Henry and his sister named Helen, all right? You ready? All right. There once was a boy, and his name was Henry. Henry lived in a house with his mom and dad and his sister Helen. Henry and Helen were twins, and they were 10 years old. They lived in a nice house, and they had very nice neighbors. They had a dog named Sparky. Who has a dog? And a cat named Rufus. Who has a cat? Henry was a very tall boy with blonde hair and freckles. He liked to play sports, he liked to go fishing, and he liked to go swimming. Helen had long brown hair, and she had very big dimples. Can you do this like dimples? All right. She liked to play with her dolls, play dress up, and have sleepovers. Henry and Helen were both in the 10th grade, but they had different teachers. Henry's teacher was Mrs. Smith, and Helen's teacher was Mrs. Jones. Henry didn't do very good in school and made bad grades, but Helen did very good. Henry and Helen went to school every day, but Henry did not like going, but Helen liked to go to school. On one Thursday night, Henry forgot about some of his homework that he had to turn in the next morning. And he asked Helen if she would do it for him. It was math homework, and math was Helen's favorite subject. Who likes math? Y'all like math? All right. So Henry knew that Helen would definitely do it for him. When Henry asked Helen, he was very surprised by the answer that he got. Helen told him that she would not do his homework because that would be cheating, and cheating was not good. She did tell him, though, that she would help him do his homework, but that he would have to do it by himself, and she would show him how to do it. Henry and Helen began to work on the homework, and they were able to get it done before their favorite TV show, SpongeBob SquarePants, came on. Henry was glad that he was able to get his homework done, and he was glad that Helen taught him how to do his homework. One day, Helen went over to her friend's Emily's house for a sleepover. Helen and Emily were best friends, and they loved to play with their dolls and play dress up together. Who likes to go to sleepovers? Who has a best friend that they like to sleep over with? Yeah. While they were playing dress up, Emily had that great idea that they should get some of her mom's makeup and play dress up with real makeup instead of the fake things they had. Helen thought it was a great idea, so they went to Emily's mom's room and got her makeup. They got lipstick, eyeshadow, blush, and powder. They were so excited they could not wait to get all dressed up. While they were putting on all the wonderful makeup, Emily's mom came in and the girls got in big trouble. Emily had gotten in trouble before about getting her mom's makeup, and she knew that she was not allowed to do that. As soon as she began to get in trouble, Emily blamed it on Helen and said it was all her idea. As soon as she began, Emily's mom became very angry at Helen and called her mom to come and get her immediately. Who's ever told a lie about you? Have you ever been somebody told a lie about you before and you got in trouble? Yeah. And when Helen got home, her mom talked to her about what happened, and she soon found out that Emily lied to her mom so she would not get into more trouble. Helen was very sad that her friend would lie like that and didn't know why anyone would do such a thing. Her mom told her that sometimes people do that because they're scared and don't want to get into more trouble. And if they can blame somebody else, it makes them feel better. Her mom told Helen that she would never do that she should never do that because lying was very bad and gets you into even worse trouble than you were if you had not lied at all. Helen understood and promised her mom that she would not lie to her about anything. Now Henry, he loved to play football, and he was a very good football player. He had practice 3 times a week after school, and after practice one day, he noticed that one of the boys on his team was getting picked on by some of the other boys. The boy getting picked on was a shy boy, and he wore glasses. The mean boys were calling him 4 Eyes and pushing him on the ground. Henry went over to the boys and told them to stop, that it was not nice to pick on people like that. The mean boy said, "Who cares?" and continued to pick on the boy. Henry decided to do something about what was happening, and he pushed one of the boys. Who's ever seen somebody get in a fight at school? Yeah. What do you do when you see somebody get in a fight at school? You tell the teacher, that's right. Did Henry tell the teacher?
No, he tried to handle it.
He tried to handle it himself, that's right. This made the boys very mad, and they all started to beat up Henry now. Henry's coach saw what was happening and ran right over to help Henry. All the mean boys got into big trouble and were not allowed to be on the football team anymore. Henry's coach helped him up and helped fix some of his cuts. Henry's coach told him that next time he saw somebody getting picked on, he should not try to push them, but he should go and find an adult who can come and take care of the situation. Henry didn't understand though. He thought he should do everything he could to help the person being picked on. His coach explained to him that an adult can help in this situation much better, and that if Henry were to push somebody again, he could get into big trouble too. This helped Henry understand the situation better, and he promised his coach that next time he saw someone getting picked on, that he would find an adult. Henry also liked to go to the local pool on Saturdays and swim with all the other boys and girls. He liked to jump off the diving board and go down the slides. Who likes to go to the pool? Who likes to go on this diving board? What about the slides? Yeah? Henry was a very good swimmer, and he was on the city swim team. While he was at the pool on Saturday, there were some other boys, and one of them challenged Henry to a race. Henry knew that he could win, so he accepted the challenge and got ready for the race. On your mark, get set, go, yelled one of the boys, and the race was on. They raced from one end of the pool to the other and back. Henry was very confident that he could win, as he had done that race many times at swim practice and was very good at it. On the turn back, Henry noticed that he was not winning. In fact, he was very far behind. Henry swam even harder and kicked with all of his might, but he just could not catch up. He had lost the race. Henry was very disappointed and upset. As the other boys' friends were congratulating him, the boy came over to Henry and patted him on the back and said, "Great race, buddy. That was the hardest race I've ever swum. You are a very good swimmer. We should practice together on every Saturday." "Wow," said Henry, what a great idea. I would enjoy that a lot. I can't wait till next Saturday." "All right, cool. See you then," said the boy, and Henry grabbed his towel and went home. Henry was glad that he met the boy and was sure that they would be good friends. Henry and Helen loved their dog Sparky and their cat Rufus. Sparky slept at the end of Helen's bed every night, and Rufus slept at the end of Henry's bed every night. Rufus loved to play fetch, or Sparky loved to play fetch and loved it when Helen scratched his belly. Rufus liked to chase her little toys around the room, and she loved it when Henry would scratch her ear. Even though Sparky was a dog and Rufus was a cat, they got along very well and liked to play with each other. Who has a cat and a dog? Do they get along with each other, or are they mean to each other?
They're kind of like
They're afraid of each other, yeah. One day they were in the backyard playing together, and Sparky saw a rabbit. He liked to chase rabbits, so he ran after it. He jumped right over the fence, and Rufus was right behind him. They chased the rabbit a very long way, and they ended up getting lost. When Henry and Helen got home from school, they were very sad when their mom and dad told them that Sparky and Rufus had run away. They just could not understand why their pets would run away like that. Henry and Helen's mom and dad put out a bunch of flyers around the neighborhood and said a missing dog and cat. They searched and searched for Sparky and Rufus, but they just could not find them. It was getting late, and Henry and Helen were so very sad. They just knew the pets would be gone forever and never come back. Who's had a pet run away before? Yeah, were you sad when that happened? Yeah. Then, all of a sudden, they heard Sparky barking at the front door. They ran to the front and saw Sparky and Rufus covered in mud. They ran outside and gave their long-lost pets big hugs and sloppy wet kisses in return. Henry and Helen were so happy to see their long-lost pets back home. They gave Sparky and Rufus baths, which Rufus didn't like very much because she was a cat, and they got ready for bed. That night, as Henry and Helen said their prayers, they gave special thanks to God for sending their pets back home to them safe and sound. Henry and Helen had many great adventures in life, and they enjoyed them all. They learned lots of things growing up, and they always remembered for the rest of their lives. They never forgot all the wonderful friends that they made and all the wonderful memories. They were so thankful for everything they had: a mom, a dad that loved them very much, a house that they could live in, wonderful pets that kept them company, and they were thankful for each other. They knew that God had blessed them with many things in their lives, and they were very thankful for all that He did for them. The end.
Yay! I'm thankful for Mr. Chris. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
all kinds of fun things with us. All right, now, listen.